Welcome to Journey On. It is the Monday before Sunday and Saturday, I guess, before Easter
It
weekend.
is.
We can
Yep,
say
it
that.
is almost every week.
It's, it's weird how that happens. It's the 14th of April. I'm trying to get the month through quicker. Some beautiful days. We've had some rain.
Yes.
We've had some sun. My deck is clean. It's got a patio furniture out. Yeah, man, it's a beautiful spring. How are things in Fargo?
Wonderful. I got home yesterday after having that kite in my possession for 2 days, actually 3 days,
Mm,
and my grandson, who's two, he saw the kite
hmm
and he wanted to know what that was for. So we went out, and on the package of the kite it says between 5 to 15 mile an hour
Oh.
required. We
hmm
must have had 4.5 mile an hour winds because I could get it about 10 feet off the ground,
Oh,
and
perfect.
he was having a blast.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I was too. And there were a couple times we actually got it up and he got to hold on to the string. And
Oh,
man, I think that was transformational last night. So I did actually get out and fly a kite yesterday, which was man,
awesome.
it is fun. Everybody should do that.
All those times people told you to go fly a kite, you've accomplished it. You can check that off your
Did
list.
it. Yep, it's off my
Been
list.
accomplished.
Yep.
Excellent. All right. Well, let's see. What do we have? This last week, we're still in New Phone Who Dis,
Yep.
and you brought out the kite. That was entertaining. Spider-Man. I got a kick out of that.
Spider-Man.
And we talked about the sidekick, right? Uh,
Yep. Silas the sidekick.
Eyeless the sidekick, and I took away the message I heard, and it was pretty early on in the message. And the thing I found that this kind of wove throughout the story as you were talking, the idea that doors close, right? They were told, no, you're not going to go this way. You can't go this way,
Right.
and this is the way to go instead. And that's being a 2020 vision Christian looking backwards. I can't tell you how many doors I was doing everything I could. I had the hammer and chisel. I had the axe out. You're going to let me in. This is my
Yeah.
door. I've got to do
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
In one case, I stayed in a job for a decade longer than I should have at one point in my life,
Wow.
knowing that that door wasn't going to move any further, and I was up against it further than I should be. And it affected my physical health. It affected my mental and emotional health, not in a dangerous way, but in a way I look back and say I could have been so much happier had I just listened. And uh, so that was an important part of that message for me. And then you brought up Psalm 23, and I
Mhm.
wanted to talk about this here.
Okay.
A lot of people love it. I know it's important. We learned it as kids, right? That's one of those
Yep.
that I still remember the King James version that we were
Exactly.
taught as kids. The thing that stands out to me now, when I've seen it in the last few years, he makes me lie down in green pastures, isn't saying, here's a green pasture. You can enjoy it if you'd like. No, he makes me lie down in green pastures. And I believe the word makes is really important there. The idea of rest is
Yep.
is something that we don't do very well as a society.
That's
And
right.
if we're talking about doors opening and closing, we need to be ready for whatever that is, whatever that looks like. If we need to find another door, our bodies need to be ready for it. And taking rest, I
Yeah.
think, is really an important part of that.
It absolutely is. That's very profound. Yeah. Well done.
Thank you. But thank you for giving the message. It's something that I know each week. Uh, you have an idea of what you're going to talk about. Sometimes it changes, and I would imagine that there are weeks because we're human. Uh, as someone that likes to write too, there are probably some weeks where it just flows right into the computer and everything's ready to rock and you're good to go. And there are other weeks that we might beat our heads against the keyboard trying to get some words to come out. And it may have to do with how ready we are to hear the message ourselves and how we write it. So I guess what I'm saying is I appreciate the effort that goes into it. Even if it's the Holy Spirit writing through you, you're
Sure.
still a human and you have to do the work that goes into that.
Well, I'm glad. Well, you're very welcome, and it's my pleasure. And I'm very happy to talk about stuff like that because it could be, and I'm not high tech enough to know all the names of the. I know Chat GPT, I believe, is one
Mhm.
of them.
Yeah, the
If you
AI.
and
Yeah.
and there's others, right? I'm sure
Right.
there are.
the
And
thousands of them, I'm sure by now, but Chat
sure.
GPT, when you say that, everybody knows what we're talking about, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And I've never tried this. I'm sure you could type in a few
Hmm.
key points and it would probably write an amazing sermon. But I do have, and I wouldn't say it's a system or a template or really any.
Method.
I just
It's a
have I
method, right?
have
Yeah.
what's that method? Yeah,
Method. Yeah.
yeah. I have enough of that combination of those things that if by Wednesday night um, I don't I don't have a workable outline. Um, yeah, I am praying. And what you're describing there is I believe is honestly what we talked about with the kite is just being open.
Hmm.
I there are some stories I love. There are some Bible stories, and I'm sure you have some too that are like favorite stories. And you guys get to hear a lot of my favorite stories. Elijah on Mount Carmel is one of my all-time favorite Bible stories. And when
It's my
Amy was
favorite because every time you mention it, and you've mentioned it a lot, every time you mention it, Elijah is standing on top of an ice cream sundae and caramel is
Mount
drizzled all over it.
Carmel.
That's every time you say it. That's what I think.
You may not be the only one that sees
Yeah.
that.
It's
If I
it's
said caramel,
sticky.
Mark Caramel, that would
Well, then it's
probably for sure
fancy.
have
Then there's
been it.
probably a cherry on top too. If it's
Yeah,
caramel, then it's
yeah,
yeah.
Elijah was actually holding a magnificently huge maraschino cherry, and that's what he used to beat the prophets to death. No, no, that's not it at all.
I want to see that cartoon now. Please. Someone is talented out there with CGI or
Oh
animation.
yeah,
Please
there's
make
that too,
that.
right?
Yeah, please make that for us.
But anyway, so all that to say, I try and stay very open to how the Holy Spirit wants to move me, and reading through. Um, as a matter of fact, early on in the week, I usually have an idea of where I'm going to be focusing my time, and then it literally sometimes like you guys have witnessed, sometimes it's just one word that sparks enough of a question mark in my head, and sometimes it's a few questions. Sometimes it's yeah, it's always I love it. I absolutely love it. And someone it was someone from Bismarck, and I won't say their name because I don't know if that would be appropriate or not, but they just said I really needed to hear that message
Hmm.
today. And I can say this honestly every time, so did I. So
Right.
did I, because I'm not sharing anything that I'm like, you guys need to get this because Elijah and I are on top with the cherry. You guys need to get up
Yeah.
here. You know,
Yeah. If you
it's we
ever,
all need to hear
yeah, if you or anybody else in the family is ever to the point that you've got it all figured out, please write a book before you leave and
it. Yeah.
go on your mission. So, hey, Oz,
Are you recording? We are recording.
we are recording. Today's special guest is brought to you by important spousal
Yep.
situations that need
Yep.
discussion. So we'll get through this and then
I'm gonna take this, try this jerk chicken.
oh
We
this
are.
this is perfect. This is perfect. Yeah.
That is good.
I
Is it
know.
is it tangy?
It's
Tangy. Is it
spicy.
tangy? Oh,
Got this. He's needed. It's amazing. Yeah,
It is very good.
you know what?
Very good.
You may have just sparked a new segment for the preview. We should do a little recipe segment with Oz. Every week he can come in and give us a new recipe. I like it.
There you go.
please cut that out. But we
No,
had
that is absolutely staying in. We
yeah.
we love you and you love us as well.
Painful day next time I see you.
So everybody in Fargo especially, please approach Oz and let her know that you want her to be on the show with a recipe, and Bismarck
Absolutely.
will do
Oh,
the
man,
same. So yeah.
that is really good.
Mm. Jerk
Holy
chicken,
cow.
she said, yeah.
Jerk chicken. Yeah, it's one of my favorite bratwurst, bratwurst and jerk chicken.
Huh.
I'm an international, yeah, like Wisconsin and Jamaica. Love jerk
Excellent.
chicken.
Huh. That well,
That's
I'm
really good.
I'm I'm glad. I'm excited for you to have dinner at this point.
I am too.
All right, well, let's keep going then. So,
Yeah, sure.
so what's happening in this coming weekend? You were talking about having a passage that you would read through in preparation, and that
Yeah.
sometimes helped you break through writer's block. I don't know if that's the term that we were using, but
Yeah,
something along
more
those.
more just clearly focus what I believe God wants me to talk about.
And this coming week is Easter, and we'll be
Yep,
talking about the resurrection.
Absolutely talk about the resurrection.
And a good place to base that if we want to read ahead. And I'm pretty sure everybody's familiar with the story. You know, we're not giving any spoilers at this point that Jesus is
No, I think we all
resurrected.
know how it ends.
Yeah,
Yep.
so John 20, and it's verses 1 through 10, uh, following the 2020 rule, reading back into John 19, reading
Yep.
further into John 20.
Yep.
But we're going to focus in on those 10 verses and what is there any special segment within that that you're bringing out? Is it part of
Yeah.
New Phone Who Dis, or is this stepping away from that for the week so we can focus on this story exclusively?
If you give me a little bit of leniency on New
Okay.
Phone Who Dis
Okay.
and we focus less on the character and more on the story,
Hmm.
I believe we're looking at an element of the story that maybe doesn't get as much notoriety as the the stone away from the tomb or the
Hmm.
angel sitting on the stone or things of that nature. We're going to be focusing in on Peter and John, and you can see it in the first 10. Um,
Hmm.
Mary comes back, Mary Magdalene comes back, and she tells them the tomb is empty,
Right.
and they take off running because and so we're going to talk about the motivation to be running towards the tomb. Why, why would that be important?
Hmm.
Um, and then we're going to talk about John gets there first, and he writes that he gets there first, and it you could very easily say he was poking fun at Peter. I don't think he's poking fun at Peter. I think he had to get there first for a very specific reason, I believe. And so we're going to talk about that because it really does come down to that particular element of that part of the story comes down to how important is the resurrection.
Hmm.
And if you're asking me, and I think honestly, if you ask a pastor or really you ask any Christian, um, and they don't understand the importance of the resurrection, it should be explained to them because I'll probably say this weekend, and it's not blasphemous. This is the truth. If Jesus didn't resurrect, then he was a raving lunatic.
Yeah.
Those are the only two choices.
Yeah.
And so I choose to believe that he is not a raving lunatic, and I know that the tomb was empty, so he's my Messiah.
Good. Well, that's a fantastic discussion to have, and I love, and I know you do too, Pastor Karl. Others in our family do as well. To have those conversations about
Yeah,
why that's important, what it means
yeah,
to us. This will be a great starting point. And what's cool this Saturday and Sunday, both in Fargo and Bismarck, we're having potluck after the
yep,
service, right? So
yep,
we'll have that opportunity to have those discussions and share some extra family time.
yeah.
Do you happen to know in Bismarck is there Sunday school? Are the kids doing school on Sunday?
Uh, I hadn't heard that there wasn't.
Yeah,
I
okay.
don't know for certain.
Yeah, well, everybody will be in their Sunday best. We'll have large crowds in both locations. Get there
Yep.
early to get a good seat, as always. Uh,
Yeah,
and you know what? It's Sunday. You're gonna pay for the whole seat, and you might as well use it all. Yeah, I don't
that's
I don't know
right.
if we're gonna be that exciting where you're gonna be at the edge of your seat. Oh, there is
Maybe
something.
elements.
There's and I think another teaser in
Okay.
Bismarck, another
Yeah.
teaser for this Sunday. I think there's going to be an announcement that maybe a few people know about, but everybody's going to get to hear about this. So I love teasers. You know me. So it's the Easter
Yes.
teaser.
The
Show up.
Easter teaser. Oh, that flows really nice.
Yeah, exactly. So show up. We've got a lot of things to talk about, a lot of things to hear, some good time together. Also coming up, a fresh fire.
Hmm.
I know this is in Bismarck the weekend of April 26th, 27th, and I believe some things happening on that Monday, the 28th also. I wanted to mention specifically, again, a special invitation out to everybody in Fargo. If you have some free time, there's events happening throughout both Saturday and Sunday. I plan to participate other than during our church service for sure and some other things that might be happening. But that weekend, if you're interested in attending any of that, you can reach out to me for sure. Karl, I know you have some information.
Yep.
There's information online as well. There's a group of Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. There's a men's breakfast and then a ladies' breakfast, two separate locations, and it's on Eventbrite. If you're interested, the app website, you can sign up there. It's $15. There's a group from the Bismarck family that are planning to attend both of those. So we've already got a group started.
Yep.
We'll obviously know people around the community as well. So great opportunity to get out and share what our church is about, learn about some of the other 50 plus churches that are participating. We also happen to have one of our worship team members is playing bass Saturday
Right.
night
Yeah.
in the worship team for that multicultural event. So it's some really exciting things. Shout out to Kelly for rocking the bass for the Bismarck Christian community. That's a really cool thing. So yeah, that's my little plug for that. Anything else happening that you wanted to bring up at this point?
Um,
So I always put you on the spot with things like
no,
that.
that's
Yeah,
okay. It is the beginning of Holy Week, and
it is, yeah.
so there's just about every day has something very specific and cool about it. And I know I'm really looking forward to this. Honestly, is my favorite holiday of the year. Christmas gets a lot of airtime. So honestly, you know what? To answer your question, just came to me. Easter is kind of the new phone hootis of the major holidays.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Um, so in a way, it still fits in. But
Yeah, yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
I just want people to just really take this in,
Mm.
meditate and read on and pray on what was happening 2,000 years ago this week and
Yeah.
how important that is and how amazing that is and how much hope that really brings. Just, oh my gosh, yeah,
Some
absolutely. So
amazing
what was
things.
your question? I forget.
Uh, well, we'll get into final thoughts here in a moment. That's kind of what
Okay,
we're
yeah,
leading into. But I
sure.
had a video show up on one of my algorithms. It was a comedian talking about what was actually happening when on Palm Sunday. This came up on Palm Sunday, and it was a person talking about Jesus riding in on it was a donkey, right? A foal.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
she did some research and found out how tall average Jews were at that time and how tall this foal would have been. And she sat on a chair and kind of scooted her legs along. This is what it looked like when Jesus came in. I mean, he's the king, and I'm sure it was more regal than this, but in my mind, it looked like, kind of the Flintstone mobile as you're riding this poor little foal on in. So again, I sometimes I worry about my brain, but I found that really funny.
Well, okay. That as long as somebody is, as long as
Yeah,
somebody is.
yeah, I get a kick out of me all the time. So yeah, thanks for joining in on this craziness. At any rate, it is a fantastic, amazing week, and you know how much I love putting the stories then
Yes.
to today's world and how things happened at that time. So yeah, it's a great week for that. Any final thoughts as we wind this down and get ready to prepare for this coming weekend?
Yes, this is my final thought. It comes in the form of a challenge again.
Mm.
And so like you mentioned earlier, most of us in our heads can get through um, the arresting, the crucifixion, and even make our way through the resurrection. We can get that story in our heads,
Mhm.
um, and sometimes we can even get that. If someone were to ask us to explain it, we can get that out. But what I want to challenge people to do, and this I call this, it's the John 3:16 challenge. Everybody knows John 3:16.
Mhm.
The challenge in reading John 3:16 is to read it with fresh eyes
Ooh.
when you read it. So I'm not asking people to read John 3:16. I'm asking people to read the resurrection story.
Mm.
And I was thinking about this today. I was like, "Oh, I can give the books and the places and everybody and make it really easy for everybody." And then I decided, and I love everybody that I love our church. That's why I don't want to make it easy. I want people to dig in. Go
Right.
find it. Go find the gospels and compare the notes. What's
Mm.
different? What's similar? What are some questions you have? What images come to mind? And just really, make that your own.
Yeah, fantastic. And do you use BibleGateway.com? Do you use that website
I
much?
have, or I do, yes. Yep.
Okay, and it's when I keep it up on my screen while we're talking. Well, it's always up there, and while we're talking, it's handy because we can easily get to different places in the Bible. And the other thing that I really like about it is with a click, you can go to a drop down, and I keep up the New International Version, but all of the other like there's you have to scroll and scroll and scroll
Yeah.
because all of the different versions. So a great
Yep.
way to continue on that, if you're used to the New International Version, I know that you like the New King James Version.
Yes, I do.
when you read. And there are other versions, even the old King James version. Is that old King James, new King James, original, the
Just King
OG
James,
as
I
a
think,
kids?
but yeah.
Yeah. So different ways to read through it there. So yeah, it's a great challenge. I appreciate
Mhm.
that, and I'll do my best to live up to it, just like everybody else will, I'm sure.
Fantastic.
All right. Well, we'll see everybody Saturday, Sunday. Some exciting things coming, so we can't wait to see everybody there. God bless.